All right, welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. Just something that we kind of came up with, some conversations that have been happening, and probably going to be a little bit of a hot button topic. Would Alex Rodriguez have been the greatest shortstop of all time? So, I know you probably remember this. I don't know if you do. Alex played shortstop for Seattle and Texas before getting traded to the Yankees in 2004, right? Yes. And of course, he's not going to play shortstop over Derek Jeter, so he moved to third base. But Alex Rodriguez, one, had like a .97 fielding percentage as a shortstop, which is really good. I mean, that's in the top 15 or so every year probably in the MLB throughout his tenure. And this man dropped bombs as a shortstop for Texas and Seattle. I mean, he literally had a 57, a 52, a 47 year or home runs in a season. He was driving in 135 and 142 runs at one point for the Texas Rangers. I mean, I want to make the argument that there's probably no other shortstop that has ever produced that kind of numbers from a hitting standpoint. Obviously, Fernando Tatis, maybe as he gets along, may be able to produce those numbers. But if he can stay healthy, obviously. And Manny Machado obviously had some really good years as well. But, I mean, call me crazy, but the numbers don't lie here, maybe. Alex Rodriguez, had he just played shortstop his entire career, would he have been the greatest shortstop of all time?
Offensively, potentially, but because his numbers started to go down, but that's because he got to be like 80 years old.
Here's my thing is, he had like, you know, he was on course for that. He had the trajectory to be you know, the powerhouse offensive hitter that he was. But how long was he actually doing steroids for?
That's another thing.
Yeah, because he was straight up caught with it. Admitted to it and everything. How long was he doing that for?
Probably not until about right there.
when he was leading.
When he dropped
2001.
Right there.
And then followed it up with 57 the next year.
And then 57 again?
47.
Okay. 47, 36, 48, 35, 54.
I think he, statistically, he probably would have been the best offensive shortstop if he had not gone to the Yankees, of course, to try to compete against Derek Jeter and all that. If he just stayed away from another All-Star MVP Hall of Famer, I think he would have projected and stayed on course for being the best offensive hitter at shortstop.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is when he was playing shortstop, that fielding percentage of like a .95 is actually really good. I mean, it's not like he's a liability defensively out there.
No, not at all.
And so, you know, when you mix in the kind of offensive numbers that he was having, plus then a decent fielding percentage and fielding ability, I mean, that's why I'm just sitting here, like, I never even thought about it. Because I always, like, having grown up and being 10 years old when he switched to third base, like, I always remembered Alex Rodriguez as a third baseman.
That's the era we grew up.
I never even thought about it.
I remember him as a shortstop.
Right?
Yeah.
And so for me,
I remember Cal Ripken playing shortstop.
Hell, we were born his A-Rod's rookie year.
Yeah. I mean, you look at these numbers, it's kind of like, wow, Alex Rodriguez would have been, he had a career, as a shortstop, he had a career of .977, which is really good.
Right.
Really good. So, it was actually even lower at third base than it was at shortstop. That's kind of surprising.
He played
better on the hot corner then.
He played better at shortstop than he did in the hot corner.
Who said it was better at third base?
No, it was not as good at third base. Okay. Sorry.
Hell, he did better at first base. Oh, no, he didn't.
He did less. Yeah,
he had 944.
He made 2 errors at first base. So, I mean, you think about just these kind of crazy numbers that he was putting up leading up until where he was traded to the Yankees and playing shortstop. I mean, I would argue that, God, if he really did stay at shortstop his entire career, maybe not obviously playing for the Yankees, but if he stayed at Seattle or Texas or wherever he ended up, Alex Rodriguez could have really been the best shortstop of all time.
Offensively, yeah.
Definitely offensively and probably as a whole with that defensive ability being at .977.
Yeah, but do you put him over like an Ozzie Smith or a Derek Jeter or?
I mean, the captain was great, but his numbers weren't that great.
Defensively?
Defensively, he was probably better than Alex Rodriguez.
Well, yeah,
that really kind of goes without saying since they played him at shortstop over A-Rod when they came together.
Yeah.
But Ozzie, no, there's no way he was better than Wizard.
Yeah. I mean, Ozzie was fantastic.
Defensively, absolutely. But Ozzie probably never hit.
He never hit 57 home runs.
He definitely didn't hit 57. I'd argue Ozzie probably never hit 30.
Probably not. He wasn't a power guy.
Hell, he might not even hit 25.
Probably 20. I wouldn't even say 20.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm taking the stance. Had he not switched, he would have been the greatest shortstop of all time. Anybody want to go with me?
I would say he would, and then we had the discussion. That'd been the Barry Bonds discussion. I'll never forget. Does he go in the Hall of Fame because he got caught and admitted to steroids?
Fair enough. That discussion's coming anyways.
Yeah.
Offensively, yes. Overall, like offense and defense, probably. Yeah, I guess you would have to say yes. But defensively, I don't think he was. I think there was better than him defensively. But offensively, I think he probably would have been the absolute best offensive shortstop to play the game.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of hard to go off of the years he played shortstop. That being his fielding percentage, because he switched. We don't know if he would have gotten better.
Or worse.
Or worse as time has gone on. It's a lot of what ifs. I do think, though, without a doubt, he would have been the best offensive shortstop in history.
Okay. All right. Let us know in the comments what you think if Alex Rodriguez would have been the greatest shortstop of all time had he not switched to third base. And as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe.